Hmm. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. The aim of this session is to go ahead and discuss with you all the relevant questions from the point of view of macroeconomics. The first chapter that we take for the day is basic economic concepts. Let us go ahead and let us take the first subtopic in that: scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. Now, the first question. You have to read with me, do it with me, okay? The problem of scarcity exists in economics because, so we are asking, why is there a problem of scarcity? People have limited needs? No. People have unlimited wants, right? People have limited wants? No. All markets have shortages? No. Some markets can clear. There are limited resources to fulfill unlimited wants? Yes. Wants are unlimited and resources are limited. So the correct answer to this question is D, right? So all resources are scarce. Individuals and societies are forced to make choices about how they utilize resources. Okay? Resources are limited, right? And wants are unlimited, right? For example, let's take an example. There is only limited fresh water in desert, right? So we cannot fulfill unlimited water demand in the desert, right? So this is what it is about. That's the answer to the first question. Now let us go ahead to the next one. The basic economic problem of all countries is the existence of. So the basic economic problem of all countries is scarcity. That means that you have unlimited wants but limited resources. That's the problem of any economy. So scarcity is present in every economy. There are limited resources and no economy can fulfill unlimited wants from limited resources, right? And that's the reason why economy will face the problem of or the question of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, right? So the correct answer to this question is unlimited wants and scarce resources. इसीलिए सोचना पड़ता है कि क्या produce किया जाए. You have to think of what to produce. Come to the next question. The critical problem of economics is, so again, beta, the critical problem of economics is that you have limited resources and you have to distribute them to fulfill the unlimited wants, right? So actually, again, same ही question है, wording अलग है. So the critical problem of economics is that you have to allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. So wants are unlimited, right? Resources are scarce. So you have to allocate the scarce resources to fulfill unlimited wants. Better come to the next question. When one decision is made, there are alternatives that are not chosen. The next best alternative not selected is called. So we know that the next best alternative is called opportunity cost, right? So for example, when you have to go for a movie and the next best thing you can do with the movie money is maybe go to a restaurant to eat. So the opportunity cost is involved, right? That's the cost of the next best opportunity, cost of next best alternative, right? So answer is A. It is opportunity cost. Okay, come to the next question. Jiang prefers bicycling to running and he prefers running to swimming. So bicycling is preferred to running and running is preferred to swimming. If these are his only three choices, what is his opportunity cost of bicycling? So opportunity cost of bicycling is the cost of next best alternative. And the next best alternative that we have is running. So in this case, answer to this question should be C, it is running. Right? Come to the next question. Which of the following is an example of a resource? Wheat, oven, pizza. So beta, resource is anything. It can be wheat. Wheat is a land resource. It can be oven also. Oven is a capital resource. It can be used to cook pizza. It can be pizza also, is it? No. Pizza cannot be a resource actually. Why? Because pizza is the final good. Sorry. Pizza cannot be the resource. It is a final good, right? So resource is something which can be used to make something else. This is wheat, I can make dough for pizza. Oven I can use to bake pizza, but pizza I can't use further, right? So answer to this should be wheat and oven. That means D is the correct answer to this question. Okay, come to the next question. A truck driver receives safety training. What kind of resource has the truck driver acquired? So when you're getting some training, right? Training is always a human capital resource. So you have gone ahead and acquired a human capital resource. Training is always human capital, right? It is related to your productivity, right? Okay, come to the next question. Which of the following situations represents scarcity? Air pollution in a growing economy. Air pollution in a growing economy does not represent scarcity. Dekho, air is not scarce, right? Clean air is scarce, but air nahi, right? So no. Floppy disks are no longer being produced. And bhai, if floppy disks are no longer being produced, then they're obsolete. They're not scarce in nature. They are obsolete. So this is not the correct answer. There is a finite amount of coal in the physical environment. Yes, that is scarcity because coal is actually scarce, right? So when is something scarce, right? The definition of scarcity is when something is desired but limited. So when something is desired but limited, that is a scarce resource. So yes, coal is a scarce resource. So answer to this question should be C. Coal is a scarce resource. Okay, come to question number 9. Microsoft finds it difficult to hire enough skilled computer programmers. This statement represents the concept of. So you find it difficult to hire enough skilled computer programmers. That means skilled programmers are scarce in nature, right? They are valuable, but they are scarce. You don't have enough of them. So answer to this should be B, that resources are scarce in nature. Okay, come to the next question. The school cafeteria has pizza, chicken, or cheeseburger for lunch. You decide to have chicken, but if they were out of chicken, you would have chosen pizza. Opportunity cost of choosing chicken is, so when you choose chicken, you are missing out on what? You're missing out on the second best opportunity, which is pizza. So answer to this question is A, that is pizza. Okay, come to the next question. If the supply of all resources were unlimited, then what will happen? So beta, if the supply of all resources is unlimited, then needs and wants would be limited? No. Technological research would no longer be necessary? No. Goods and service would be distributed equally? No. The concept of opportunity cost will no longer be relevant? Yes. By opportunity cost is the cost of next best alternative. But if I have unlimited resources, then I don't have to think about choosing between things, right? If there were unlimited resources, then economies would produce unlimited goods at no cost, right? We would never make choices because we don't have to make choices, right? So if resources were not scarce, there would have been no concept of opportunity cost. So answer to this question is this: there is no concept of opportunity cost in that case. So this finishes topic 1, which is based on scarcity. Let us go to topic 2, beta. Production possibility curve. Okay. Suppose the nation of land decides to produce only books and resources. According to the production possibility curve, a book production increases, the production of records will. So we know that production possibility curve is basically going to go ahead and going to, it's like this, right? So if I go ahead and I can only produce books and records, as I increase the production of books, the production of records should decrease, right? So when you move from one point to another, in order to increase the production of one thing, you decrease the production of the other thing, right? So answer to this question should be E, decrease. Okay, come to the next question. What conditions exist if an economy is producing a level of output that is on its production possibility curve? Okay. So if you are on the production possibility curve, you cannot have idle resources. You have used all the resources. Sare resources use kar liye hain. Equitable distribution of goods and services not necessary. Even on the production possibility frontier, you can be somewhere here. You can be here. So equitable distribution ho not necessary, right? Inefficient resource ka use nahi. You're not inside the PPF, you are on the PPF, right? No idle resources and efficient use of resources, correct. There is no idle resource left. You are on the PPC. So you are using it to the most efficient manner possible. Okay, come to the next question. A point inside the production possibilities curve represent. So when you are inside the PPF, it means that you are inefficient, right? So clearly the answer to the question is inefficient. So you have to just remember, if you are inside the PPF, you are inefficient. If you are on the PPF, you are efficient. If you are outside the PPF, it is not achievable. So these are the 3 points that you have. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The production possibility curve will shift outwards for which of the following reason? Unemployment rate decreases. So just think about it, It says it will shift outwards. So when unemployment rate decreases, then I cannot shift the curve outward. I can employ more people, but I am not going ahead and I'm not able to go ahead and produce more than what my economy can produce. Are you getting it? You can only go ahead. So basically unemployment, this may seem as a tempting answer to you, but a decrease in unemployment, it will only bring the economy closer to the PPF or PPC. So you may be inside the PPC, and when unemployment decreases, you will become closer to achieving the PPC, right? So unemployment rate decreases, cannot go ahead and cannot shift the PPC outwards. This is incorrect, beta. There is significant natural disaster. No. When there is a natural disaster, it cannot go ahead and it cannot shift your PPC outwards. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता ना that you become more efficient, right? And then that you're able to shift your PPC outwards. That's not possible. So this would be an incorrect answer. Okay, come to the third one. Technology improves worker productivity. Yes, that's the correct answer. Only a new technology is able to go ahead and produce more output with the given resources. So if I take cloth here and if I take food here, with better technology, I may be able to produce more cloth, more food, right? So my PPC will shift outwards, right? So the correct answer to this question should be a new technology, which means it is C. Okay, come to the next question. The following three questions refer to the following graph of a country's production possibility curve. Okay. What's the question? If one land mover is currently being produced, the opportunity cost of producing the second lawn mover is. So I'm currently here. I'm producing one, I'm at point A. And I want to go to point B. I want to increase its production by 1 unit. How much of rakes would I be giving, beta? 95 minus 85. That's 10. I will be giving 10 to produce 1, right? So the opportunity cost will be 10 rakes, right? Come to the next question. Which of the following combination represents an inefficient level of production? 100 rakes and 5 lawn mowers. 100 rakes, 105. So beta 100 rakes and 5 lawn mowers together. This is unachievable. This point A, this is unachievable. Right? Okay. The next part says 95 rakes and 1 lawn mower. That's this point. This is achievable and efficient. So this is not inefficient. This is not inefficient. 85 and 2. 85 and 2, that's here. Again, on the PPF, not inefficient. 70 and 2. 70 and 2, that's here. 70 and 2. This is inside the PPF. So therefore, this is an inefficient level, right? So answer to this question should be D. This is inefficient level. Okay, come to the next question. The best combination of rakes and lawn mowers for this economy is, so now it is asking which is the best combination. But a best combination to nahi bata sakte. All the points that are on the PPF, they are the best combinations, right? They are the most achievable points, right? So you cannot go ahead and think that one is better than the other. I can't go ahead and say that, you know what? I can't go ahead and say that, you know, point A is better than point B or B is better than C. That's not what we do, right? So the best point or the best combination of rakes and lawn mowers, that is something which will be indeterminate with the current information. Okay, come to the next question. On the basis of the above diagram showing an economy's production possibility curve, which of the following statements are true? Let's look at the statement. The opportunity cost of moving from point X to point Y, from point X to point Y, is 25 per rockets. Just think about this. I am moving from point X to point Y, beta. So if I move from point X to point Y, then I am giving up on, this is opportunity cost for what? The opportunity cost of moving from point X to point Y is 25 rockets. This is 25. This is correct. But you have to understand that I am not producing any of the other good, right? While figuring out opportunity cost, you must calculate how much of a good is being lost to produce more of the other good. For example, when you move from X to Y to Z, from X to Z, right? You are increasing COGS and decreasing this. You are increasing good X and decreasing good Y. When you're moving here, one is increasing, another is decreasing. But when you go from point X to Y, your COGS remains the same. If this good remains the same, there is no opportunity cost. You're just reducing one, but not increasing the other. So this is incorrect. The opportunity cost from moving from point Z to X is 8 COGS. Now I'm going, it says Z to X. So when I go from Z to X, I am increasing this per rockets. So when I'm going from Z to X, I am increasing this by how much beta? I'm going from 50 to 75. So I'm increasing this by 25. And how much am I decreasing this with? I am reducing this from 52 all the way to 44. So I'm reducing this by 8. Right? So to produce 25 additional units of this, I have to reduce COGS by 8. So I have to give up 8 COGS for additional 25 units for going from point Z to point X, right? So this statement is correct that when you go from Z to X, you have to give up 8 COGS. But when I talk about opportunity cost now, it should have been change in one thing due to change in another, right? And ideally, this should have been 25 by 8. That should have been the correct value of this. The opportunity cost of moving from Y to X is 0 COGS. So when I move from Y to X, that's correct. When I move from Y to X, I am able to increase this by 25 units without giving up on a single COG, right? So that's the correct statement. That's correct, right? So answer 3 is correct, right? So it says which of the following statement is true? So Acha, this was X to Z. I thought this is X to Y. The first question was X to Z beta. X to Z. So you're going ahead and you're giving up on 25 per rockets for increasing the COGS production by 8 units. I just thought we're going from X to Y. So in that sense, we will go ahead and we will say that E is correct. E is the correct option, right? Okay. Now let's go to the next question. On the basis of the diagram above, showing an economy's production possibility curve for two goods, what does point F represent? So F is a point that is beyond the PPF. If it is beyond the PPF, you cannot achieve it. It is an unachievable point. So answer to this question should be D. A level of production that is unattainable with current resources. You cannot attain this point with the current resources. Okay, come to the next question. On the basis of the diagram above, showing an economy's production possibility curve for two goods, what does point E represent? E. That means you are inefficient. You are inside the PPF. So it should be point C. Answer C seems correct to us. It is attainable. You can easily attain it. It is inside the PPF, but it is not efficient because you're not on the PPF. So answer should be C to question number 10. Okay, come to the next question. Based on the diagram above, suppose economy is now producing 2 tractors. What is opportunity cost of producing the third tractor? So I'm already producing 2 tractors better. That means I'm here. If I want to produce an additional tractor, I must give up on tomatoes. How many units of tomatoes? 25 units of tomatoes, right? So the answer to this question should be C. 25 tomatoes must be given up to produce an additional unit of tractor. We'll come to the next question. An economy can be using resources more efficiently when it can increase its opportunity cost, it can distribute equitably, no, it can reduce poverty, no, it can make industrial production more profitable, no, it can make some people better off without making the other people worse off, yes. Answer to this question is E. When you can make more people better off without affecting other people, it means that you have been able to use your resources more efficiently. That's the definition of Pareto efficiency also, right? So you are able to go from a Pareto inefficient point towards a Pareto efficient point. Okay. So beta, that ends your next chapter also. This is the end of this chapter. Right? Now with this, we finish the first unit and we should be moving on to the next unit, which is called it's from your open economy side, comparative advantage, absolute advantage, and specialization and exchange. But before we go ahead for this unit, what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a short break, right? And then we will go ahead and we will return back. So let's quickly grab lunches. Let's take a lunch break. And then we will go ahead and we will continue with the macroeconomics question bank, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Let us go ahead and again begin with the new question answer session, which is going to be on comparative advantage, absolute advantage, and specialization. Okay, so the first question of this is, it says, an economy is said to have absolute advantage in the production if what of the following will be true. So, beta, when we talk about absolute advantage is simple. You should be able to produce more of the product than the other commodity in absolute terms. So, produce the good which is more in absolute terms, which means it should be D, right? It should be D. Produce higher quantity of that good other than the other economy, right? Opportunity cost को check नहीं करने. Don't confuse absolute advantage with comparative advantage. Absolute advantage is a very simple concept. Absolute advantage is just asking which economy can produce more of a good or service. It is not concerned with opportunity cost. Do not confuse yourself. So answer is D. Come to the next question. An economy is said to have comparative advantage in production of a good if now opportunity cost is involved. It is said to have comparative advantage whenever you can produce a commodity with lower opportunity cost. So if I can produce a commodity with lower opportunity cost, that is called comparative advantage. So answer should be A. Produce the good at a lower opportunity cost than the other economy. Okay, come to the next thing. Use the table below to answer the following questions. Okay, so okay. Now let's see this. What is the domestic opportunity cost? Domestic opportunity cost of producing one cell phone in Northland and Southland before specialization and trade. So before specialization, it is asking what is the opportunity cost of producing one cell phone. Okay, let's see at the answer. So Northland can either produce 20 TV or 40 cell phone. 20 TV or 40 cell phone. So I must give up on 20 TVs to produce 40 cell phone. I must give up on 20 TVs to produce 40 cell phone. So answer ho gaya beta, this should be half. So 0.5 TVs. For every cell phone, I just have to give up half a TV. Hai ki nahi? For every cell phone, I must give up half TV. So when I give 10 TVs, I produce 20 cell phones. When I give 20 TVs, I produce 40 cell phones. Southland ka dekho. I must give up on 10 TVs to produce 10 cell phones. So that means 1 TV per cell phone. So answer will be 1. So answer to this question is A beta. 0.5 TVs and 1 TV respectively. Is this clear? Okay, now come to the next part. What is the domestic opportunity cost of producing 1 TV in Northland and Southland before specialization in trade? अब वो opportunity cost TV produce करने की पूछ रहा है. They are asking the opportunity cost of producing TV. So let's look here. So opportunity cost of producing TV, revert it. You have to give 40 cell phones, then you will be able to produce 20 TVs. That means you have to give 2 cell phone per TV. You have to give 2 cell phone per TV. That means when you give 40 cell phones, you will be able to produce 20 TVs. Better come to the next one. You have to give 10 cell phones to produce 10 TVs. So TVs. So it is going to be 1 cell phone per TV. So the opportunity cost will be 2 cell phone and 1 cell phone respectively. always remember whatever you want to produce should come in the denominator while calculating the opportunity cost, right? So answer to this question number 4 should be 2 and 1. That means it should be D. Right? Come to the next question. Achha, here. Use the graph below to answer the following question. What is the domestic opportunity cost of producing one strawberry in Eastern and Westland before specialization and trade? So opportunity cost requires that you are patient in finding the right appropriate ratio. For Eastern, it is asking what is the opportunity cost of producing strawberry. So whatever you want to produce, that should come in the denominator. So whatever you want to produce in denominator. So beta, agar opportunity cost Eastern ki nikalni hai, to strawberry should come in the denominator and radios should come in the numerator. So one strawberry will cost you 20 radios. Buy 10 strawberry. That means it will cost you 2 radios per strawberry. This is a little tricky. Try to understand this. It will cost you 2 radios per strawberry. So in each time, the answer should be B. Similarly, look at the Westland. In the Westland data, I will again ask for cost of producing strawberry. I will be producing 30 strawberries or 30 radios. Okay. 30 strawberry or 30 radios. I will produce strawberry in the denominator. So that means I will give up 1 radio per 1 strawberry. When I increase the strawberry, I will increase the production. So answer should be 1. So the answer to this question should be B. B is the answer to this question. Can we come to the next question? Which of the following statement is best at the statements? Eastern has an absolute advantage in wheat production. Western has an absolute advantage in strawberry production. So let's go ahead and think about it. Give me a moment, the voice is breaking, please. Okay, please give me in the comment section if the voice still breaks, okay? So let's look at the next question. Is it better now? Am I audible now? Okay, please give me in the comment section if the voice still breaks. Okay, let's continue. According to the diagram, which of the following statement is true? Eastern has an absolute advantage in radio production. Westland has absolute advantage in the strawberry production. So when we look here, beta, we see that Eastern had to go ahead and had to give up 2 radios to produce 1 strawberry. And Westland had to give up 1 radio to produce 1 strawberry. So Westland had to give up less radios to produce 1 strawberry, isn't it? So which means that Westland has comparative advantage in going ahead and producing strawberries, right? So from here, look here, beta. Let's write this down. Westland, this is very important from exam point of view, had to give up 1 radio to produce 1 strawberry. Eastern, on the other hand, had to give up 2 radios to produce 1 strawberry. So production of strawberry takes place better when we talk in the Westland, right? So therefore, Westland has comparative advantage in producing strawberries. Now just look here. Beta, you can only have comparative advantage in one product. You can have absolute advantage in both, but you can only have comparative advantage in one product. So if Western has a comparative advantage in producing strawberry, then Eastern automatically will have comparative advantage in producing radio. So therefore, let's look where that is coming. This is correct. Eastern has comparative advantage in producing radio. This is incorrect. Eastern has comparative advantage in strawberry is incorrect. Eastern has absolute advantage in radio is incorrect. So answer to this question is C. Westland has absolute advantage in production of both goods. Eastern has comparative advantage in radio production. Let us try to go ahead and think this a little more better. Look here. When you look at the production frontier of Westland, it is above Eastern. Because this is above Eastern, that means Western has absolute advantage in both products. When Eastern could produce 10 by putting all its resources to produce strawberry, Western could produce 30. When Eastern could produce 20 radios, if it puts all its resources, Western could produce 30. So Western has absolute advantage in both the products. Now talk about comparative advantage. We saw that Westland uses less, it has to give up less radios to produce strawberries. So along with having absolute advantage in both, Westland has comparative advantage in strawberries. Comparative can only be in one. So if Westland has comparative advantage in strawberry, that means that Eastern has comparative advantage in the other product, which means radio. This is the complete analysis that we have. Very important question. Okay, come to the next one, beta. Under what terms of trade would both Eastern and Westland find it mutually beneficial to specialize in trade? It will be mutually beneficial to engage in trade when the term of trade offers it a lower cost when trading than the good if it were to be produced itself. So let's write this down. This is again a very, very important question from a lot of exam point of view, from IGIDR, from GoClay, from IFT, IIFT, very, very important chapter. Okay. So CUET, others also, huh? But currently IFT, this definitely comes, and IGIDR. So an economy, let's write this down better. An economy will only engage in trade for a good when the terms of trade offer it lower cost when trading for the good than the cost if it were to produce the good itself. Now, if Eastland, देखो ध्यान से समझो, if Eastland were to produce strawberries itself, it had to give up 2 radios. 2 radio देता तो 1 strawberry बनती. So if it had to produce the good itself, it had to give up 2 radios. So if after trade, it has to go ahead and give less radios, right? Or for the same strawberries, it can get more radios, right? Then you will be going ahead and you will be having a comparative, I mean, you will be benefiting from trade. So before trade, he had to give up 2 radios to produce 1 strawberry. ठीक है जी. अब अगर मैं इसमें देखूं तो यहाँ पे तो 1 स्ट्रॉबेरी के अगेंस्ट 3 रेडियो देने पड़ रहे हैं इनकरेक्ट, क्योंकि बिफोर ट्रेड ओनली आई वाज गिविंग 2 रेडियोस. 1 स्ट्रॉबेरी के अगेंस्ट 1 रेडियो, 1 स्ट्रॉबेरी के अगेंस्ट 0.5 रेडियोस, कौन सा होगा? सो आइडियली यू कैन थिंक दैट ऑल दीज 3 वुड बी करेक्ट. यही लगेगा ना फ्रॉम ईस्टर्न पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. From Eastern point of view, all the 3 are correct. Because before trading, I had to give up 2 radios for 1 strawberry. If I have to give up anything less, I am fine. Now from Westland point of view, but a Westland had to give up, when he gave up 1 radio, he was able to produce 1 strawberry. So he will want a better one now. Only then he will trade. So he will not go for 1 or anything less than 1 because he was already at 1. So the only option which is mutually beneficial to both is B. So answer to this question is B. This is very good question, beta. Answer will be B. Okay, come to the next question. The following questions are based on the table below, which indicate labor hours needed to produce a single unit of each of the 2 goods in each of the 2 nations. Okay. If labor is the only factor used to produce the good in each nation, what is the opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of lobster? This table provides us the hours of labor needed to produce a unit of each good. We must go ahead and we must use the input method to calculate opportunity cost. So just note that I use 10 labor hours to produce 1 lobster or 20 labor hours to produce 1 banana. Now it is asking what is correct. So beta, either I can use labor hours 20 hours to produce 1 banana. So in 1 hour, either I can produce 1 by 20th banana, or I can use 10 hours to produce 1 lobster. So in 1 hour, I can produce 1 by 10 lobster. अब दोनों hour 1 hour में आ गए. So either I can go ahead and produce 1 by 20th banana, or I can produce 1 by 10th lobster. Is this clear? Now, the question is asking, what is the opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of lobster? So in order to go ahead and in order to do that, you simply have to go ahead and say that, look, let us just go ahead and divide this, right? So answer will be 1 by 20 divided by 1 by 10. But whatever you want to produce will come in the denominator. So 1 by 20 into 10 by 1. So this will be 1 by 2. That means 0.5 bananas. So the answer to this question for nation A will be 0.5 bananas, this or this. Now come to nation B. Directly bhi kar sakte the, but this is a better way to do it. Okay, now come to nation B. So for nation B, we have either you can use 15 labor hours to produce 1 lobster. So in 1 hour, you can produce 1 by 15 lobster. Or you can use 45 labor hours to produce 1 lobster. 1 banana. So in 1 hour, you can produce 1 by 45 banana. Now it is asking opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of lobster. So lobster hours will come down. So 1 by 15 will come down and 1 by 45 will go in the numerator. So it will be 1 by 45 into 15 by 1. That means it will be 1 by 3 beta. So 0.33 bananas. That is this. So answer to this question is A. This is the correct answer. A very, very important question. These are the kind of questions that can come in exam, right? Okay, come to the next. The table above indicates labor hours needed to produce a single unit of each of the 2 goods in the 2 nations. If labor is the only factor used to produce the good, which of the following statement must be correct? Okay. So, पहले समझो. देखो एब्सोल्यूट एडवांटेज में हम डायरेक्टली कंपेयर करेंगे. आई विल नॉट फाइंड एनी रेशियो. कंपैरेटिव में हम अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट निकालेंगे. वी विल फाइंड रेशियोज. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स थिंक अबाउट एब्सोल्यूट एडवांटेज. बहुत क्लियरली विजिबल है दैट नेशन ए टेक्स 10 hours and B takes 15. So A is taking less hour. 10 is less than 15. No ratio for absolute advantage beta. So 10 is less than 15. So nation A is taking less hours than nation B. Similarly, A is taking 20 hours to produce banana. B is taking 45 hours. 20 is less than 45. So A has absolute advantage in both the goods because it can produce faster. So one is correct now. A has absolute advantage in both the goods. This is correct, right? So this is correct. B has absolute advantage in both the goods. This is incorrect. Now come to the third point. It's an important one. It says mutually advantageous trade can occur between 2 nations when 2.5 units of lobster are exchanged for 1 unit of banana. So I told you, beta, that mutually advantageous trade can take place only when you have the value between the 2 values. So if you go ahead and you look here, if you just go ahead and you look here, I notice that in case of nation A, beta, nation A is giving half banana to go ahead and produce 1 lobster. So nation A is giving half banana to produce 1 lobster. Nation B is giving 0.33 bananas to produce 1 lobster. So as far as the comparative advantage is concerned, nation B has a comparative advantage in going ahead and producing lobster. Right? So nation B has comparative advantage in producing lobster. समझो बात को, नेशन बी को एक लॉबस्टर प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए सिर्फ 0.33 बनाना देना पड़ता है, बट ए को एक लॉबस्टर प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए 0.5 बनाना देना पड़ता है. So nation B has to give less bananas. He has to only give 0.33 bananas to produce one lobster. एक lobster produce करने की cost कम है nation B में. So nation B has comparative advantage in producing lobster. उसी तरीके से nation A, I said comparative can only be in one. So nation A will have comparative advantage in producing the other good, which is bananas. So nation A will have comparative advantage in banana and B will have comparative advantage in producing lobster. First, make this absolutely clear. You should not have any issue with it. But now come to the third point. Mutually advantageous trade can occur between the two nations when 2.5 unit of lobster is exchanged for one banana. ठीक है, अगर nation B को, अभी तो ये देखो, यहाँ पे I am saying that nation A has to give 0.5 banana for one lobster. If I reverse this, then beta for one banana, nation B will have to give 2 lobsters. Ulta ho gaya, reciprocate. And for one banana, nation B will have to give 1 by 0.33. That means 3 lobsters. तो एक बनाना प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए नेशन ए को 2 लॉबस्टर देने पड़ रहे हैं और बी को 3. Anything between this, anything between 2 and 3 is mutually beneficial. And this is what we are getting here. 2.5. So yes, this is correct. So answer to this question is that 1 and 3 are correct statement. Very, very tricky questions hote hain ye. You have to use your entire patience to solve this question. So 1 and 3 are correct. Okay, come to the next one, beta. If Northland and Southland were to specialize and trade, Northland would find it advantageous to, okay. We are not given any table, is it? Or did I miss out on the table? You can leave this question because I have not given any table here. I just missed out on giving the table. Okay, come to the next chapter beta now. So we have completed comparative advantage chapter. Now let us move on to the next chapter, and this is going to be demand, supply, and market equilibrium. Okay, the law of demand is illustrated when we know law of demand is when you increase the purchase of a commodity when the price decreases. So it should be C. Increase in purchase of cell phone results from lower prices. Right? Come to the next question. If people demand more honey when price of tea falls, then honey and tea are, so you are increasing the demand of honey when the price of tea is decreasing. That means you are using honey and tea together. That means they're complementary goods. So answer to this question should be B. They're complementary goods. Come to the next question. Suppose yams and sweet potatoes are considered to be substitute, holding everything constant. If the price of yam increases, what will happen? So beta, if price of one commodity increases, the demand of other should decrease when they are substitute goods. So answer to this should be A. Demand for sweet potato will increase. Answer is A. Okay, come to the next question. If technological advance occurs that makes the production of cell phone more efficient, which of the following is true? So whenever there is technological advancement, it means that the price of the input will decrease. When price of input will decrease, the supply will increase. So answer to this question should be B. The supply of cell phones will increase. Okay. Come to the next question. A shift to the left of the supply curve can be caused by, so beta, this cannot be the case. This will increase the supply. This is demand side. Increase in cost of producing input. So answer is C. Okay, come to the next question. The following diagram refers below shows the demand and supply of sandwiches per week. At a market price of 7, clearly supply is more than demand. Which of the following will happen? So supply is greater than demand. Whenever supply is more, demand is less, it causes surplus of the commodity. So answer to should be surplus of the sandwiches by how many units beta? 40. ये देखो यहाँ 70 आ रहा है और यहाँ 30. So surplus is 40 units. Right? Come to the next question. Suppose population in an economy were to increase, which of the following would occur? So whenever population increases, demand increases. So demand curve should shift to the right. And if that happens, then your quantity will increase and price will also increase. Right? So answer to this question should be price will increase, quantity will increase. Quantity supply भी increase होगी ना, movement along the supply curve. So this is also correct. So answer should be E. All the three options are correct. Come to the next question, beta. Which of the following changes will definitely result in an increase in both equilibrium price and quantity of the good? So I want to increase both price and quantity. So look at the first one. When supply increases and demand increases, but it doesn't mean that price will change. Na? Price can remain the same. So no, that's incorrect. Look at the next one. When supply increases and demand does not change. Oh, sorry. This is D, D dash, and S. When supply increases and demand does not change. So beta, if supply is increasing and demand is not changing, price will decrease. Na? I cannot increase the price. Look at the third one. This is also incorrect. The third one says when supply is unchanged and demand increases. So this is demand, supply. Supply is unchanged and demand increases. That will increase the quantity also and increase the price also. So C is correct. Answer to this question is C. Okay, that's the end to this part also. Now we begin with the next part. It is called macroeconomic issues, business cycle, unemployment, inflation, growth. Let's look at the first question of the day. Okay, it says a recession is described as a period. So beta, recession is any period when the unemployment is high, output is reducing. That is what recession refers to. So a period of falling output and employment is called recession. So answer to this question should be E. Come to the next question. In a typical business cycle, the business cycle peak is followed by, so whenever we have a peak in the business cycle, it is followed by a downward flow. And it's followed by it's followed by a recession, right? So answer will be A. Okay, come to the next question. Use the graph to answer the following question. In the above diagram of the business cycle, the movement from point A to B is called A to B. The movement, so A is basically, अच्छा हाँ एक और बात है, हाँ. So ideally the highest point of the business cycle, that is called the peak. That's called the peak. And the lowest point of the business cycle is called a trough. Right? When you move from peak to trough, that movement is a contraction of the economy, where GDP is decreasing, right? So when you move from peak to trough, that movement is a contraction in the economy, right? So answer to this question should be B. This movement from peak to trough, this is called contraction of the economy. Right? Okay, come to the next question. The alternation between expansion and contraction is called we know, that's the business cycle. So the term for that is business cycle. Okay. Economic expansion is typically associated with which trend? So when we talk about economic expansion, whenever the economy will grow, whenever it will expand, it is followed by, in expansion, unemployment decreases, output increases. So it is followed by decreasing unemployment, increase in real GDP. This is what the trend you will see in expansion, right? So answer to this question should be B, falling unemployment rate. Okay, come to the next one. In a command economy, who determines what to produce and how much to produce? So if it is a command economy, it is a dictatorship, right? So it is dictated by the central authority, right? Rather than the market. So answer to this question should be D, by central planning agency. Okay, come to the next question. Which of the following problems definitely exist in economic recession? So in a recession, you will see unemployment, definitely. In a recession, you will see underutilization of the resources, definitely. In a recession, you will not see inflation, definitely. Beta, ध्यान से समझो. Recession में unemployment is falling, is increasing. Employment is falling. So according to the Phillips curve, when unemployment increases, inflation should decrease, right? You should have deflation, not inflation. If you have unemployment plus inflation, that is called stagflation. Stagflation. That is not recession. Recession is unemployment, fall in output, but fall in prices also. So 1 and 3 are correct, which means D. D is the correct option. Okay, come to the next question. Okay, so we end this topic here. So we have ended 4 topics by now. Okay, the next is measurement of economic performance, national income accounting, by topic 1, which is circular flow of income. Let's look at the question. In a simple circular flow diagram, households dash goods. So households will always buy the good and they will sell their services. So answer should be B. Households will buy the goods and serve, and in return sell their labor, right, to the firms. So answer is B. According to the circular flow model, which of the following statement is true? So circular flow model, households are demanders in both markets? No. Households are demanders in the product market and suppliers in the factor market? Yes. Households demand product and supply factors. So B is correct. Okay, come to the next question. Which of the following is not a part of household's income? Wages are there, profit is there, rent is there, interest is there. Saving is not income, beta. Okay, saving does not represent income. Saving represents proportion of the income which you don't spend. It's not the income. So income can be either saved or consumed, but saving itself is not income. So answer B is incorrect. That means this is not, this is what the answer should be. Okay. Use the diagram below to answer the following questions. Let us have a look at the questions. According to the circular flow diagram, how does the government fund its spending? So look here. This is the government. The government can fund its spending by taking money from household in the form of taxes. So the correct answer to this question should be D. According to circular flow of income, what is the GDP of this economy? So let's go back to the question. Beta, what do you see as the GDP of this economy? Dekho zara. You can add, so I can find out GDP of this economy using the income method. And using the income method, GDP should be wages plus profit or dividend plus interest plus rent. So wages हो गई, wages, profit, rent and interest एक साथ ही आ गया as 700. So the GDP of the economy should be 700. So answer to this question would be C, 700. According to the circular flow diagram, what is the GDP of this economy? Why is this asked again? I think so. Not sure. Maybe I should have gone ahead and given something else here. GDP is being asked twice. I think so. This should be for some other. Something is wrong. I missed out. I should have asked GNP, or I should have done something else here. So leave this question. Okay, come to the next one. Which of the following economic behavior is considered to be a leakage from the circular flow income? So we know that leakage is the saving. Whenever households save money, that's the form of leakage. So answer will be A. A is a leakage. Come to the next question, beta. Use the diagram below to answer the following questions. According to circular flow diagram, which is true? A household's income equals expenditure. Do you think this is a true statement? That income and expenditure are always equal? Well, we know that this is why GDP method can be used. That income method and expenditure method are the same, right? So this is correct. A government's income equals to its expenditure. Income and expenditure are always equal. So this is also correct. Net exports are 75. Okay. So if you go ahead and you look at net export should be export minus import, right? It should be export minus import. Exports are 75. Import is 75. So net export should be 0, na? Export minus import should be 0. So this is not correct. This is not correct. Rest we can prove. If you see government is spending 75. Government earned 100. Government transferred 25. So net earning of government was 75. So revenue 75 हुआ और spending भी 75 की हुई. So this is correct. है ना? यहाँ से भी prove हो रहा है. So the only thing which does not make sense in that case is the last point. Right? Is the last point. So answer should be 1 and 2 only. C is the answer to this question. Okay, come to the next part. What is, so this is the next topic, beta, GDP. Let's read out the question. Gross domestic product is defined as, we know, C plus I plus G plus NX. So it should be C. Right? Come to the next part. Use the table below to answer the following question. What's the question? What is the GDP in this economy? So GDP in this economy can either, we can either use the expenditure method or the income method. But if I were to go ahead and use the expenditure method, then it will be C 1800 plus I, investment value is not given, so I will just keep it at 0, plus G. This is import, this is export, this is unemployment benefit, this is interest, this is G, this is sales tax, this is R, and this is I. So I is 400. I is 400. So I is 400. C, I, G, G is 1100. N, X. So export is 100 and import is 200. So NX will be minus 100. This is your GDP of the economy, right? So it will be 3200. So the GDP of this economy will be 3200. So answer to this question will be B. Beta, you could have used the income method also to find GDP of the economy. So you could have done that wages plus profit or dividend plus interest plus rent. That is the GDP of the economy. You could have done that. Be sure in that case that you exclude the sales tax and unemployment benefit if you use this method. ये नहीं आएगा कहीं पे भी and unemployment benefit भी नहीं आएंगे. You should get the same answer of 3200. Okay, come to the next question. In an economy with GDP of 4000, income from wage is 1200, rent is 1100, interest is 1000. What is profit equal to? Very simple. So GDP will be wage plus rent plus interest plus profit. So profit will simply be 4000 minus 1200 minus 1100 minus 1000. 3300. So this will be 700. So answer will be A. Okay, come to the next question. Use the table below to answer the following question. C is 600. And it is asking, according to the data above, how much of gross domestic product is the result of government spending? So that means how much is the how much GDP is due to G? That is what the question is asking. So please understand this thing. While calculating government spending, one must go ahead and add all the government spending, whether it is local government, state government, or national government. So local government has spent 300 and the federal government has spent 200. So the total government spending that I have beta is 500. So G is equal to 500 in this case. That means answer will be E. G is 500. This is what it is asking. Okay, come to the next question. According to the data in the table above, what is the value of net export? So net export is export minus import. So 20 minus 40 will be minus 20. So answer to this question will be minus 20. B. Right? According to the data above, what is the GDP of this economy? Nikal do, it's very simple. So C is 600. I is 300. C plus I plus G is 500. And NX is minus 20. So 6, 11, 14, 1400 minus 20, 1380. So answer to this question should be 1380. That is the answer is C in this case. Okay, come to the next question. A farmer sells cucumbers to a food processor for 1.5 per pound. The food processor makes the cucumber into pickle and sells at 2.5. The grocery store sells each jar of pickle for 3. How much do these transactions add to GDP? So we know that whenever we talk about GDP, GDP is always the last value, right? It is always the last value. Or value added method se kar lo, value at each level. So in that sense, the GDP of the economy is just 3. Because it is including everything. It includes everything that we have, right? So answer to this question should simply be B. That's the answer to the question. Okay, so we have finished the basics of GDP. Now let's take a quick break, beta. Then we will continue and we will take the next topic, which is components of GDP. Okay, thank you. Hi, let us go ahead and take the next topic. This is going to be components of GDP. So the question is, which of the following examples is classified as consumption spending that would be counted towards US GDP this year? बेटा US पे focus नहीं करना, किसी भी country के GDP पे focus करना. Okay. The purchase of computer by an accounting firm, the purchase of computer by a police department, by a high school student, by go ahead and take the next this is going to be components of the purchase of computer produced in the US by German student, the purchase of a used computer. इनमें से कौन से it says would count towards the GDP of the country, right? Now, each item is purchased, right? But to be included in this year's GDP, it must be produced within your country, right? First of all. So it must be produced within the domestic frontiers of your country, right? At the same time, it must be new, right? It must be purchased new. It must be purchased by private individual, right? And private use. Otherwise, तो वो intermediate good बन जाएगा ना. If I'm purchasing as an accounting firm, I'm using it to do something, right? So it must be produced within domestic frontiers. It must be a new product. It must be produced by a private individual for private use. So all this is satisfied only by point number C. So answer to this question is C. Come to the next question. Which of the following is an example? Examples is classified as investment spending that would be counted toward this year's GDP. So again, I have told you, beta, purchase of home built in 1927, no. It should be produced this year. Purchased a new dishwasher for her apartment, no. That's also not correct. Purchased a new luxury car. Pierre purchased a new luxury car. This is not an investment. No. AIS company purchased 9,000 shares. No. Investment does not include financial assets like stocks, bonds. ये सब नहीं include होता. It does not include that. So no, that's also incorrect. Damien purchased a new oven for his restaurant. This is investment. So this is the only investment. So beta, what is investment? Investment includes spending on goods used to produce other goods, right? So when you purchase it for your restaurant, you will be using oven for the production of the other goods. So this is correct. This is in fact counted as investment. Come to the next question. Which of the following is not included as part of this year's GDP? Families purchase of a new car, it will be included. Factories purchase of new drill press, it will be included. Child's purchase of school lunch, it will be included. And let's come to the next option. It says college students purchase of a used textbook. No. So answer is D. D will not be included. Used goods are excluded from this year's GDP because they were already counted in GDP in the year that they were produced. Okay, come to the next one. A lawn mower purchased by a private individual is considered to be consumption because it is private, na? Private individual word use ho gaya. So it has to be C, consumption expenditure. It is not I, beta. It is C. Okay. Which of the following transaction would cause increase in nation's GDP? Okay. Grandfather sells his house to his grandson. Na. Used good ho gaya. An auto dealer sells a car from last year's inventory. No. Mrs. Jones buys a share. Shares are not included. Government purchases new computer equipment for use by public school. Yes. So answer is D. Answer to this question is D. Come to the next question. Which of the following transaction is not included in US gross domestic product for the year 2000? Okay. The rent paid in 2000 by tenants in a house built in 1980. No. It is built in 1980, na? So no. The value of old desk sold by an antique shop. Okay. So now, this will be included. Sorry, beta. A will be included. क्योंकि तो rent paid की बात हो रही है. Rent will be included. If the house would have been sold, तो house की value include नहीं करते. Rent will be included. Value of an old desk sold by antique shop, no, that will not be included. So answer is B. Used goods are not included in GDP because they were counted in GDP in the year they were produced. So if this desk was first sold, let's say 1925 at suppose $20, it was counted in 1925's GDP. It should not be counted in 2000's GDP. So that will be incorrect. Come to the next question. An automobile is produced in 2013 but not sold until 2014. How is this automobile counted in GDP? So beta, this automobile should be included in 2013. क्योंकि 13 में produce हुआ ना, so it will be included in 13. But कैसे? It is not sold, मतलब वो inventory है. Inventory should be a part of investment. So it is included in 2013's GDP as an investment. So answer to this question should be B. I hope you have got this point. समझ में आ गया? तो I am saying that it is not sold. मतलब वो inventory हो गया. Inventory is part of investment. At the same time, it is produced in 13. So 13 के GDP में include होना है. So it will be included in 2013's GDP as part of investment. So answer will be B. So this completes this topic, beta. Come to the next topic. Real versus nominal GDP. Let's look at the first question. Real GDP is nominal GDP adjusted for inflation. है ना भाई? Price level. So answer should be C. Inflation. Come to the next question. Consider an economy that only produces two goods, record players and headphones. If 5 record players are sold at $20 each and 10 headphones are sold at $10 each, what is the GDP of the economy? But a simple है, 5 into 20 plus 10 into 10. So 100 plus 100, that's 200. Right? So answer to this question is B, that's 200. Okay, come to the next question. Use the table below to answer the following questions. So it says 1999 quantity, price, 2000 quantity and price. According to the data in the table, what is real GDP in 2000 using 1999 as the base year? So beta, जो भी base year लेना होता है, whatever you have to take as base year, you will multiply the price of that year. So price लोगे 1999 का. And you're supposed to calculate GDP for 2000. So you will take quantity of 2000. So you will take quantity of 2000 and price of 1999. तो अब देखो ध्यान से, quantity of 2000 and price of 1999. So GDP according to this will be 20 into 10 plus 10 into 10. Right? So it will be 200 plus 100, that will be 300. That will be 300. So answer to this question is C, 300. Come to the next question. If nominal GDP produced is increasing at 8% per year and real GDP is increasing at 4%, which of the following statement is true? So nominal GDP is increasing at 8% and real at 4%. So this means that price must be increasing. है कि नहीं? Inflation भी तो आ रही है. So nominal GDP 8% पे, real सिर्फ 4% से grow हो रही है. मतलब prices are also growing at 4%. So price level is increasing. So answer should be A. Okay. Come to the next question. If real GDP for a given year is 1,000 and nominal GDP is 1,500, then GDP deflator is. So beta GDP deflator is nominal by real into 100. 1,500 by 1,000 into 100. So 150. So GDP deflator should be C. That should be 150. Okay, beta, come to the next question. If nominal GDP of economy increased in 2000 relative to previous year, it must be true that in 2000. So beta, nominal GDP is price into real GDP. So if this is increasing, it can be because price increased. It can be because output increased or both increased. So answer to this question should be A. Price and or real GDP have increased. Answer should be A. Okay. So with this, we finish the topic of GDP. And now we have the next topic coming up, which is inflation measurement and adjustment. In this, the first topic that we want to cover, beta, is called price indices. Let us have a look at this question. What does the consumer price index? So beta, as you would know, all of you have this book on your platform, right? And whoever has enrolled for the course, they have it on the platform. But this is just some part of this book, huh? The book is huge, right? Remember? So I, of course, cannot do all the AS, AD, IS, LM part today. But I would like all of you to do this entire book before you sit for the IGIDR exam. It's an important book, right? So before you go ahead and you sit for the exam, all of you should be going ahead and should be taking a note of this book and should be doing this thoroughly. We are still covering this topic, right? But I may not still be able to do all the topics today. It is very difficult to take you through all those questions. So just make sure that you go through the book and you know that I have also given a complete descriptive answer of each question, right? So you should also go through each and every answer of the question. That will help you learn more about it. So to be very frank, if you look at it, beta, we have this, right? So we have the first topic as basic economic concept. And this basic economic concept has scarcity. It has PPF, production possibility frontier. It has comparative advantage. It has demand and supply. And it has business cycles. This is the first topic. इसके अंदर ये सारे subtopics हैं. We have covered all of this in today's recording, right? Then the second topic, which is important, is measurement of economic performance. In that, we have national income account. We have inflation. We have unemployment. But I have covered this for now. We have started with inflation. Abhi hum consumer index and all की बात करें, that's part of inflation. Then beta, after this, if you look into the book, after this you have national income, in which you have AD, AS, equilibrium. Then you have financial sector questions. जिसमें demand of money, supply of money, इन सब पे question है. So in which you will find question related to money demand, money supply, loanable markets, central bank properties, right? And then beta, you will see questions related to stabilization policies, right? So if you look further, you will have questions on stabilization policies. हर एक का explanation ना मैंने वहाँ पे अच्छे से दिया है. So fiscal and monetary policy, and then you have the Phillips curve. ठीक है बेटा. Finally, you have open economy, in which you have BOP, foreign exchange market, all of this. You have BOP, foreign exchange market, you have import export, capital inflow, international this. So import export, these are different chapters. Financial capital flows and exchange rate, something like that. 4 chapters are there. So beta, this is the entire booklet that is provided to you on your study with the study material, right? So we have still tried to cover this, and this. And now beta, we are doing this. I will cover this also today, but then I request you, please do the remaining book today itself, cover it today itself before your exam. Okay, that's what you have to do. Okay, come to the next level beta. So we are on the inflation part. So we are doing price indices. ठीक है जी, क्या कहता है price index? What does the consumer price index measure? So the consumer price index basically is a price of goods and services that the consumers use basically in the urban families. ठीक है, rural भी include होता है, but mostly urban, and it is used as a measure of inflation. So the answer should be C. It is price of specific sample, a basket of goods and services consumed by the consumers. Okay. Come to the next question. Suppose that a typical consumer buys the following quantities of the 3 products in 1999 and 2000. Which of the following can be concluded about the consumer price index from 1999 to 2000? So if I look from 1999 to 2000, note that the quantity is unchanged beta, but the price has increased for some goods. Quantity is unchanged, but the price has increased for some goods. So what can I conclude? I can conclude that definitely when it comes to CPI should have increased. Now let's calculate let's try to calculate it. So what is the cost of your basket in 1999? The cost of basket is 4 into 10 plus 2 into 15 plus 6 into 5. Isko multiply kiya. So what is the cost of the basket? 40 plus 30 plus 30. So 100. What is the cost of basket in 2000? In 2000, the cost of the basket is 11 into 4 plus 15 into 2 plus 6 into 6. So it will be 44 plus 30 plus 36. 110. So the basket price has increased. The same basket costs 10 rupees more now. So 10 divided by base year into 100. 10 kya hai beta? Change. 110 minus 100 is 10. Divided by base year into 100. This gives you 10%. So basket should have increased by 10%. CPI increased by 10%. That's the answer to this question. Answer is C. Come to the next question. The cost of market basket of goods and service is 200 in year 1 and 220 in year. This question is again broken. Okay, come to the next one, beta. Come to, acha, this is here na, in year 2. So year 2 mein it is 220. Okay. If year 1 is the base year, what is the price index for year 1? So beta, price index of the base year is always 100. This is just a confusing question. The base year price index is always 100. So answer is A. Come to the next one. The cost of market basket of good and service is 200 in year 1, 220 in year 2. If year 1 is the base year, what is the price index for year 2? So year 2 ke liye, how will you find? Change in value upon base year into 100. So 220 minus 200 upon 200 into 100. So 20 by 200 into 100. Right? So the answer to this question should be that it is 10% greater. That it is 10% greater. Samajh mein aa raha hai? This value is coming down as 10. So if the base year index is always 100 beta, so it has to be 10 more, right? So next year it will be 110. So answer will be B. Answer will be B, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and do the next question. The cost of market basket of goods and services is 180 in year 1, 240 in year 2. If year 2 is the base year, year 2 is the base year. The price index for year 1 is, so year 2 is the base year, beta. Okay. So how can you go ahead and do this question? So another formula of this is basket of price in whichever year you want to calculate. Current year upon price in base year into 100. तो current year में, current year ही हमारा year 1 है, is 180. Base year is 240. This is what it says now. Into 100. So 6 3s are, 6 4s are, 25. This will be 75. So answer to this question should be A, 75. So another way to calculate this is beta basket price in the current year by base year into 100. ये याद रखना है, ठीक है? Okay, come to the next question. Use the following table to answer the following questions. The rate of inflation from year 2 to year 3 is, so inflation rate is calculated as consumer price index in the current year minus consumer price index in the previous year upon consumer price index in the previous year into 100. So consumer price index in the current year, kahan se ja rahe hain hum? We are going from year 2 to year 3. So year 2 to year 3. So in year 3 it is 110. In year 2 it is 100 upon 100 into 100. So this will be 10%. So answer to this question should be A, 10%. Okay, come to the next question. The rate of inflation from 4 to 5 is, so from year 4 to year 5. So 150 minus 125 upon 125 into 100. So 25 by 125 into 100. So this will be 5. So this will be 20%. So it should be 20%. That means answer should be, did I make some mistake here? From year 4 to year 5 should be 20%. Just have a look, beta, if I've made some mistake here. I don't think there is any. 150 minus 125 is 25. Divided by 125 is 1 by 5. Into 100, that should be 20%. So we will keep the answer as 20% here, rate of inflation. Right? Okay, come to the next question. If consumer price index increases from 100 to 200, which of the following is true? So beta, if consumer price index is doubling, मतलब market basket जो है, जो आप goods खरीदते हो, whatever you buy, the value of that has doubled, right? So all prices in the economy on an average, जो consumer basket है, उसके लिए double हो चुके हैं. So answer to the question should be the price in the average consumer basket have doubled. All नहीं, सिर्फ उनके जो basket के अंदर goods हैं, उनके prices double हुए हैं. So the consumer price index, it measures price of market basket of selected goods, and only for those goods the price would have doubled. Okay, had it been GDP deflator, that is taken by the total price of the basket of good in one period and dividing it by the total price of the same basket in another period. याद रखना है, ठीक है? Okay, so come to the next question. If market price of goods and services 90 in the base year and 135 in the current year, what is the value of the GDP deflator? Again, so let's find out. So GDP deflator will be current year by base year into 100. So these are 4, 5, 15. It should be 150 beta. So answer to this question is E, 150. Okay, come to the next question. In particular year, the nominal GDP was 100, while real GDP was 80. What is the GDP deflator? So GDP deflator can also be written as nominal GDP by real GDP into 100. So 125. So answer to this question should be 125. That's the answer to this question C. Okay. So as I was mentioning to you, Peter, that this is the entire book that you're supposed to go ahead and do. I have gone ahead and I have covered these topics in this video. Inflation पूरा नहीं हुआ है. We are yet to do real nominal GDP part. But topic 1 of inflation has been done. I have covered this completely with you. Now, for today, we will end the session. But it is my humble request that all the students should go ahead, especially who have enrolled, who have access to my book. Please go ahead and do all these topics from the book. Each question has a very detailed explanation with the definition of what is GDP deflator, what is CPI, what is BOP. Just topic pe jaoge, uski complete definition is available. So it is my humble request that you complete this book today itself. It is available on your, on the platform. Go ahead and do this book today itself so that your macro is revised for the entrance exams. Okay, thank you.